Hello and welcome to another Win Daily Show. My name is Michael Raziel, and we are here to look at the 8-6 MLB late slate tonight. We still got 5 games over on FanDuel that we can rock with. So I decided to bring my friend Mitchell Tennis on to talk to me about them. Mitchell, how you doing, buddy?
We're good. I got my early kind of DraftKings lineups in, but now we're gonna roll over to FanDuel and see what the 5 game later slate brings us.
Got to see what that late slate does. I mean, it's 6:30. We already had a bunch of games lock a little early, unfortunately, and we weren't able to get on. But we just love doing this so much. We said, screw it. We can go on. We can help the people
Yeah,
make some
let's
money
roll.
on this late slate because there's probably going
Let's
to be
roll.
some opportunities. Not as many people are going to be playing these late games. Yeah, the cash isn't as much, but there's more opportunities, more chances. There's more people that can take it home on this win in this Win Daily family. So Mitchell, let's rock with it. As I said, we got a couple game slate here. Looks like we have a 5 game slate. We got the Astros and the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals. Here we go. Astros and Diamondbacks. We have the Cubs and the Royals. We have the Blue Jays, the Buffalo Blue Jays, and the Atlanta Braves. Baltimore, Miami. Don't think we're doing too much there. And we have this late Milwaukee, Chicago game. So let's start out with this pitching a little bit. There's a couple interesting players that we can rock with. I mean, obviously Tyler Chatwood has been an animal recently. Zach Gallen hasn't been too terrible, especially I think his last start against the Dodgers, not all that bad. We also have Nate Pearson, a super prospect of the Blue Jays that interests us a little bit. So, how are you looking? Again, this 5 game slate, kind of small. Where are you looking to grab your pitcher here in this FanDuel slate?
Yeah, I think everybody's gonna pretty much just roll with Chatwood and kind of move on and on FanDuel's here because none of these other options are really. Chatwood, I feel like, is a safer option unless he
Mhm.
just decides to absolutely crumble and go back to what he's,
I was
you
gonna
know,
say, go back to his old
the four,
self, right?
five,
Like,
6 walks a game and then gives up the grand slam. And but the other Nate Pearson has got strikeout upside. Obviously, Gallen, as you mentioned, has looked pretty well to start this year. So I mean, he's facing Houston obviously, and in Arizona, it's kind of
mhm.
a tough matchup. But I think if you want to be different, all you really have to do here on FanDuel for pitcher is just to kind of avoid Chatwood.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the obvious chalk. Again, the last 2 games, going back to last year, the year prior, dude was terrible, as you said. Walks 4 guys
Yeah.
and gives up that grand slam. The last 2 games, whatever he is doing, it is working. Maybe what is it? Uncle David Ross figured it out and helped him out a little bit because his stuff has been electric. He's looked incredible. So I agree with you. I think if you just move off of Chatwood here and go to Nate Pearson. I know I was listening to a couple people earlier today that kind of like the Blue Jays to win this game on the money line. That's plus money, so that's a little helpful too. Are there any other pitchers? Again, we have a weird slate here. Are there, are you rolling with any Tuki Toussaint lineups against those Blue Jays? Are you going a little old school with some Gio Gonzalez, or are you going to ride this Miami Marlins train of no nos, or no all these shutouts that they got rolling? Man, are you getting a little too crazy with it?
Yeah, I feel like Tukey is either gonna get shelled or he's gonna look really good against Toronto. It's just how he is, and it's kind of how Toronto hits. I mean, either they're put up 6, 7 runs or they're shut out with 10 Ks for the starter, and so you could roll either way on the Tukey versus stacking Toronto as well. I really feel like you can, and then Yamamoto facing Baltimore. I know they've looked decent, but last year he was a strikeout per inning guy, so the upside's there as well at 5,700, and you can basically get whatever hitter you want then too. So really, you can kind of do anything on this slate, and just as long as you avoid Chatwood, because I think he's probably definitely above 50% here. I would say.
Yeah, I agree. And again, on FanDuel, we only get the one pitcher, so it makes it just a little bit different. But I mean, I don't know, man. There's something about these Marlins. They're on fire right now. Doesn't hurt that they're playing the lowly Baltimore Orioles, but man, I think it is impressive what they've been able to put together in terms of these last few games. It's been kind of fun to watch. Hopping over now, I mean, are there any games that you're looking in particular to kind of grab a stack of again with this 5 game slate, or is this the opportunity where we can kind of just go ahead and just start picking players on positions? How do you feel?
Yeah, I like Miami facing a lefty. Uh, it's Francisco Cervelli, Jesus Aguilar, Brett Anderson. Their righties. They've actually been hitting really well to start the season, and
Mm-hmm.
their COVID restart up. So yeah, I like the Marlins, and then you can spend up with the Cubs against Kansas City here and Brad Keller. So those are the two main teams that I would be attacking on this
Mm-hmm.
shorter short slate, and then Arizona against
Arizona as well.
Houston in Arizona. Yep.
Yeah, those Houston pitchers, man, they have been bad this year. So that's always a fun spot to look at. And just hanging out with these Cubs for a little bit. As you said, they're a little more on the expensive side. So if you're playing Tyler Chatwood, it might be kind of difficult to really stack these Cubs the way you want. Especially, I mean, you can look at a 1, 2, 3, 4 stack. Even where's our number 4 hitter? Kyle Schwarber's pretty cheap. So 1, 2, 3, 4 stack wouldn't be too bad. You can even go 9, 1, 2, 3, and I think it's pretty important to want to do that against this Kansas City team where Brad Keller. I mean, I don't know, nothing really to write home about. So I think that part's pretty important. So definitely could rock with a Houston or a Cub stack here, which I think would be pretty cool. Again, just not with Tyler Chatwood. And then, as you said, let's roll over to this Houston lineup a little bit again. If we would be paid down for pitching just a little bit and we start to get a little contrarian off of Chatwood, I agree with you, man. I mean, that you can really get these stacks in, which I think would be pretty cool with all these Houston Astros, which is, again, they're kind of expensive. Not quite as expensive as they are on DraftKings, but over here, man, I mean, 1 through 4 is a possibility. You want to avoid George Springer a little bit. You can do 2, 3, 4, 5 as well, which is pretty interesting. So, and then how do you feel about the Diamondbacks? I mean, they put up, I think, a 9 spot in an inning last night. How do you feel about potentially stacking them a little bit alongside some of these Houston bats?
Yeah, right there you got two guys I'd be interested in, Kettle Marte and Starling Marte
Hmm. The Marte brothers,
at,
as they're
at
very
one
well known in the
three, and
industry.
then first baseman. Yeah, and then at first base, Christian Walker, another guy that
Mhm.
would be looking into from Arizona here.
Yeah, and Cole Calhoun's super cheap too. Hitting in that two
Yeah,
hole, $2,500, and I think he had an inside the park home run last night, which was funny to actually watch.
yeah,
Watch happen. I saw a couple replays of that, which was pretty cool. So good for Cole Calhoun. Very well deserved. So I think honestly, for me personally, I think I would just stack this whole game. I would just kind of hope for another 10, 11 run outburst by one of these teams and hope the other one gets
yeah,
close. I think last night was, they easily scored over double digits combined. I mean, I think that would be a pretty fun way to play it. Again, you got to get weird. You got to get a little contrarian. There's only 5 games here, so if you could pay down for that pitching and then just stack the hell out of this game, I think that'd be a
yeah,
pretty
for
fun
sure.
1 game slate you're playing by yourself over there.
Yeah, yeah, that wouldn't be bad at all.
Not too bad at all. Anything else? I mean, we've gone through a couple of these games. Again, it's pretty quick. You talked a little bit about the Tuki Toussaint versus these Buffalo Blue Jays a little bit. How, as you said, we can play a little Nate Pearson. Again, super prospect, looked great in his first start. Only went 5 2/3. I don't think he got qualified for that quality start, unfortunately. You got Tuki Toussaint. We'll see what happens there. Are you looking to stack either of these sides a little bit more than the other, or again, are you interested in kind of both sides of this potentially?
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in both here as well. I mean, Pearson looked obviously good in his first start. I believe it was against Washington, and I feel like this is another spot either Pearson's gonna, throw more pitches than last start and get
Hmm.
7, 8 Ks with this lineup, or Freddie Freeman and Ozuna and Acuna are gonna do what they do, and so I think that in that game it would be good to flip to.
Yeah,
You can easily do that with Pearson on the mound.
yeah, you could play.
I
You
mean, I'm
could
not going
almost
to
play.
trust a guy after one start.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, he has the upside, of course. Again, as we saw in his first start, throwing up 30 points, pretty cheap too. Now he's at 7,500. I think obviously his price went up, but Ozzy Albies is not in the lineup. Unfortunately, he's on the IL. Freddie Freeman is back into the lineup, so I think that makes this a little bit longer. I mean, this 1, 2, 3, 4 right here is a little expensive, but Acuna is starting to really heat up And Freddie Freeman, you can always count on him. And Marcelo Ozuna has been doing great this year. Looking over at the Toronto side, I mean, it's pretty damn cheap. So if you're looking to really stack some of those Houston bats, if you're looking to stack some of those Cub bats, you can easily then go with one of these Toronto stacks as well. I mean, we'll see what Tuki Toussaint, as you said, we're not trusting Nate Pearson after one start. Tuki Toussaint started against the Mets, and the Mets haven't done trash against the Braves. They've been terrible against the Braves this year, so that doesn't help. I'm not really trusting him too much either. I agree with you. I think either it's more on the Blue Jays. If they blow up, you're on the right side of history. If they're not, hopefully you pick Tuki Toussaint, so you're on the right side of history again. But I think you could really go 1, 2, 3, 4. Look how cheap these Blue Jays are, dude. They absolutely can mash the ball, and we can see what happens. But if you're looking for a way to stack some of those Cub bats who are a little more on the expensive side, looking to stack some of those Houston bats on the more expensive side, check out these Blue Jays, because I think they would allow you to really get anybody from the Houston or the Chicago side in if you'd like it. So I think that part's pretty important. Anything else on this game, man?
What's that?
No. Did I lose you, Mitchell? Oh, you're back. You're back. Oh my gosh, scared me for a second. Do you have anything else?
I just didn't hear the end.
Oh, good. Yeah. Do you have anything else on this game? Any other players? Any other pieces of information, or you want to move on to the next one?
No, yeah, that's it. Really, it's the same as uh, um, Pearson. So you can flip both.
Yep.
And other than that, the 1 through 4 is the main guys, because you can really get to both if you do that.
100%. And then we'll look at this late game a little bit, only because it's been enjoyable to watch these Chicago Cubs, dude. Like, they have been so much fun to watch. Unfortunately,
Yes.
Christian Yelich is off to, I think, the worst start in his career, unfortunately. I saw something, I think he's like something for like 35, and it's not a very good something. It's a very, very low something. So he's not looking so hot so far to start off the year. But outside of that, these Cubs, man, they have been electric. So shout out our good friend Nick Bretwich over here at Sticks Picks. He's a big Cubs fan. Or I'm sorry, Cubs, the White Sox. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Other Chicago, south side of Chicago.
Yeah.
So yeah, talk to me a little bit. How do you like these White Sox bats, and how have you been enjoying them so far? They make you a little bit of money yet this year?
Yeah, I've been riding them. They've done me pretty well. Mancada's been one guy that I've really been smashing, and he just keeps producing time and time again. And then Abreu's been hot as well. They're 1 through 4s. They're another team that, you can really stack them almost every night. And then Grandal at catcher too, so your catcher spot's filled if you decide to spend up there. So yeah, the White Sox have been great. One thing on Yelich, I did see something today that he's like 50% K rate almost this year.
Whoa, my goodness. Oof.
Yeah, I think it was like 47%.
Yeah, man. I was looking at my season-long draft, and Mike Trout hasn't done anything. Christian Yelich hasn't done anything. Mookie Betts hasn't done anything. Cody Bellinger hasn't done anything. Can't remember who went 5th overall, but literally the top 4 picks in my season-long draft, all of them have been useless. I got Cody Bellinger, so I guess that's kind of cool, but none of them have done anything yet. Like, none of them have been that electric. It's pretty disappointing. And then you have Aaron Judge sitting over there just doing his thing, getting drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round, whenever that was. So good for him for being healthy. We'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, man, I think, again, these White Sox bats, they're a little more expensive as well. So again, this might be a spot where you want to look at those Blue Jays again and see how you can kind of shove some of them in the lineup. But yeah, as you said, 1, 2, nope, wrong 2, 1, 2, 3, and then you go down a little bit. A VCL. Oh no, he's on the. Dude, I didn't realize he was on the Brewers now. Good for him. Yasmani Grandal here in the 4 spot. Edwin Encarnacion is out with a shoulder injury. So a couple places we can have some fun stacks. You can definitely look at those Blue Jays if you're trying to save some salary. Have some fun with this Houston-Arizona game. I think that might just be a fun place to be. If you roll with Chatwood, might be more of a cash game play. As you said, looks like he's probably going to be over 50% owned, especially with the pitchers that we have on the slate. So might need to pay down a little bit for those bats. But again, the Blue Jays are a solid spot to do it. Miami might be a solid spot to do it. I'm avoiding the Orioles just because maybe hang out with little Jordan Yamamoto. There's a reason he was a pretty good prospect, and these Marlins haven't given up a run in, I think, like 3 weeks now at this point, technically. So that's always a fun little statistic we like to throw around there. But Mitchell, appreciate the heck out of you always, man. Where can everybody find you on the internet?
Mitchell101 on Twitter, THOENN, and then on Instagram at Mitchell Tennis, THOENNES, and in the Discord at BombCarlo15.
Get in there, ask Mitchell some information, give him some questions. He just hit for a couple $1,000 only a few nights ago. So, dude's got the info. He writes for us here. He obviously is on these streams. He's on these podcasts. We appreciate the hell out of him. You can find me at Michael Raziel1. And if everybody out there is listening, please, we're trying to get RG3 on Sia and my show at night. So go retweet that. There is $300 a minute. For every minute RG3 is on our show, we will give his foundation $300 a minute. So it's a pretty good deal if you ask me. That's not too bad. So hopefully everyone retweet that, get at RG3, trying to get him on the show, which would be a lot of fun. But thank you all very much. Make sure to follow us at Win Daily Sports. Make sure to go to windailysports.com/learn daily. If you are not a part of the family already, become a member, become a family member. 3 days free. You get all of our projections, you get all of our articles, and you get to hop in that Discord to hang out with me, Mitchell, and sweat some golf, some PGA, some MLB, some NHL, some all of it free for 3 days. So come over here, hang out with us. I'm Mitchell. Appreciate you as always, man. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everybody out there listening. And of course, we hope you make it a very profitable evening.